Burns ton piles pain on Somerset. There was no love lost between Jamie and Craig Overton on day one. Surrey's Jamie looked fired up. A spell of short bowling caused problems for Davey, who take no further part, and his brother Craig, who was also out of the match after showing delayed concussion symptoms overnight. Surrey are in charge, trailing by just 124 at the end of day one, after Somerset struggled again with the bat. Hashim Amla wouldn't return to the middle with Rory Burns, taken ill overnight. Ben Geddes emerged instead and got off the mark with an early boundary. It was a quick start from Surrey. The patient that marked their approach late on day one dispensed with, and the score swiftly moved towards 100. That approach took Burns to his 50 off 107 balls. Even he looked surprised that he lifted one over the ropes for 6. Another Burns boundary, flicked off his toes for 4, took Surrey beyond 100. The captain looked in great touch so far, as he and Geddes racked up a 50 partnership from just 58 balls. With less than an hour played, they were already closing in on that first innings total, now a little more than 50 runs away. Burns was scoring the majority of them. Geddes happy to watch on as his skipper chipped away at the deficit and started to head towards a century. The score was up to 144 when Somerset finally had their first wicket of the day. Geddes outcaught by Gregory. Craig Overton's concussion replacement Marsh on DeLanger with the wicket. 3 from Burns before the break took him to 97, and the score passed 150. Lunch taken soon after. Surrey in control at 151 for 2, just 29 behind their hosts. Burns moved closer to his 100 after the break, and with a single flicked into the leg side off Peter Siddle, he went to his century, the captain leading from the front. Somerset, though, started to find their rhythm. Jamie Smith, out for 6, caught behind of the bowling of Aldridge. They were one short of parity when the linchpin went. Burns in a tangle, nicking Van der Merwe through to Gregory to depart for 113. Somerset failed to capitalise. Surrey, after 200 when Steele turned Van der Merwe around the corner for 2. Boundaries were in short supply, but Jacks and Seal kept plugging away, steadily increasing their lead. They became more fluent. DeLanger and Van der Merwe took some punishment, and soon enough, the 5th wicket was worth 50 runs from 103 balls. Jackson Steele remained through to tea, the former on 45, the latter 22, and the lead was now 67. Somerset was set for a tiring final session in the baking Taunton sunshine, but they still had reason to be cheerful early on. Steele trapped in front by Siddle for 22. The smiles were fleeting. Another Surrey man raised the bat. Will Jacks up to 50 with 2 off Siddle, shortly after the visitors had breached 250. Clark and Jacks settled in well, both men fluent, and flashing boundaries to quickly race their way to a 50-run partnership off 56 balls. With a Jacks single, they moved beyond 300 runs, the lead now well over 100. Clark freed his arms. DeLanger sent over the boundary for 6, Surrey putting their hosts under even more pressure. Somerset responded. Jacks bowled for 8, DeLanger's delivery fizzing through. Jamie Overton reminded them that they were under the pump though. Van der Merwe sent down the ground for 6 more. He and Clark were piling on the pain. Another 6 off DeLanger from Clark, and shortly afterwards they went past 350. Clark had himself a half-century, another top knock from a Surrey batter, the visitors really streaking away from their hosts in the closing overs of the day. Overton wouldn't last through to the end, Abel with the wicket, his former teammate caught behind for 20. Atkinson stuck with Clark through to the close of play, shadows stretching as they wandered off at the end of the day. The score 382 for 7, the lead 202, more than Somerset had mustered in their first innings, and Surrey would be more than pleased with their efforts. The hosts are at risk of letting this one run away from them. At the moment, the lead is an imposing one, but Surrey want more when they return on day 3. An innings victory is well within their grasp.
Thank you.